gonna take a 5-minute breather here and then stick this sucker in there. The neighbors loved it. 4-pound and the 8-pound spring both going in. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed, but if this shit was easy, everyone would be doing it. Hey guys, it's your boy Alec coming back to you. We got the twin turbo F-150 behind us, and today we're gonna be turning up the boost, getting it on an E-blend of fuel, and seeing what kind of times she can do on the draggy. I'm pretty excited. I'm ready to experience a truck at kind of half of its full potential, as you could say. We've been kind of just driving it around, enjoying the 4-pound spring that's in it. And since we did the twin turbo install, our final results were 93 pump gas on a 5-pound spring. The truck makes right around 4.5 to 5 pounds, depending on what kind of air we're dealing with. We're ready to turn this thing up. Something I gotta tell you, we finally got this truck on flex fuel. So right now, the truck is reading 31% ethanol in the tank. And I'm working with 5-star tuning on this in case you guys are new here. And so Josh, the owner at 5-star tuning and the tuner, told me that I should keep it around 30% ethanol. So that's kind of where we're keeping it. I have a full tank reading 31%. So what we're gonna do now is we ran a time on 93 pump gas with the 5-pound spring in it. Right now, I'm gonna go run another time, E30 with the same spring. So it's still got 5-pound spring in it. Then we're gonna put an 8-pound spring in it, and we are going to keep E30 in the tank and see what she will cut for a 0 to 60 time, 1/8 mile and 1/4 mile. I'm gonna play some clips here of what it ran on 93, and then we'll jump ahead and we'll go run another time, E30, 5 pounds, and we're gonna compare those 2 times together, because that's gonna be really interesting. Exact same boost level, how much does fuel change it? How much of a difference does 2 to 3 degrees of timing make? And then we're gonna put an 8-pound spring in it and see what it can do on that. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my 2020 F-150. It's a 4-wheel drive, regular cab, 6.5 foot bed. It has 331 gears in it. I bought this truck at auction. It used to be an old like meter tech truck for a power company, and I've been building it ever since. So we got the color match all done. We did headlights, wheels, lowered it down just a little bit. Still got the side steps on, you know, because we grandpa trucking over here. Did some window tint, and we installed the twin turbo kit on it. It also has a Richardson Stage 2 10R80 in it. So we are fully built to make power, and right now we're making like 500 horsepower. So I'm ready to turn that up. We have 66, 67 On3 Performance twin turbo kit on this thing, and we have a set of oil pump gears in it as well. Stock intake, stock pretty much everything else. It's got a badass AGM battery, you know, because that's really important. But anyways, so here's our On3 Performance compact wastegates, and this is where we're going to be changing springs at. You might notice I'm missing a bolt. I'm actually going to try a different method, but I need to get a longer bolt. I'll go over that a little bit when we start changing springs. But this truck right now, the On3 Performance compact gates, they send you with a red, a yellow, and a green spring. Right now, this just has a yellow spring in it, which is supposed to be about 5 PSI. I'm gonna put a green spring in it, which is 8 PSI, and I'm maybe considering throwing in the red spring as well, because the springs always make less than what they're advertised for. So if you guys have been around turbo vehicles for quite a while, if a spring says it makes 5 pounds, it's gonna make like 4. If it says it makes 8 pounds, it's probably gonna make like 7. So if I put an 8-pound and a 3-pound spring in it together, that's 11 pounds. My math is mathing. It's probably gonna make about 10 pounds. That's where Josh told me that my kind of limit is for the fuel system that I got. This truck has a completely stock fuel system. That's kind of why we're doing ethanol blended stuff. Well, the injectors are not stock, but the fuel pump is stock. So we're still running one single stock fuel pump, and we are going to upgrade that eventually. I've been looking into if I want to purchase a kit from like probably not Midnight, but I know they make one. Otherwise I can go like Snow Performance or Aeromotive. Those are kind of my 4 options. I might just build something myself actually and make my own dual pump setup. So there's a lot of options out there. That's kind of like a this winter project. Let's freaking put some spring in this thing and see what it'll do. So here's the springs that I got for the F-150. You can see we got the green spring. That's our 8-pound spring. Red spring, that's a 3-pound spring. And the yellow one is in the truck right now. That's supposed to be like a 5 or a 6. I can't remember exactly which one, but makes about 4.5 to 5 pounds. So these are the 2 that we're probably going to throw in the truck, pair them up together, and try and get real close to 10 pounds with it. We got the 4-pound spring in it, should make about 5 pounds. We're on E30. Felt pretty good. The neighbors loved it. Alrighty guys, so we were in our second run. So we had our 93 at this spring, and then we just ran our E30 at the same spring, and our air got like 4 times worse. We went from 500 something feet to 2,000 feet. I'll show you that on the 2 draggy like images. So our air got like considerably worse, 4 times worse, and it went from an 1188 to an 1186. So like we picked up a bunch of power, but basically because we have worse air, it basically washed out. So we probably made like 50 more horsepower with the ethanol, and summer, it's warm out. So you can see I got a fan on the passenger side because that wastegate is a nightmare to get to. The driver's side's not too bad. It's out in front of God and everyone because there's no intake over there anymore. So we're cool on that side. We're gonna pull this side apart. I think I'm just gonna put the 8-pound spring in it for now. We're not gonna do like the dual spring as I was mentioning before. And my mentality behind that is because there's a 4-pound spring in it right now and it's making 5 pounds. So I'm a little worried if I put 11 pounds of spring in there that it's gonna make like 13, 14 pounds. And I don't wanna pull this thing apart again because that's like, that is too much. I would have to pull it apart. Whereas if I don't make 10 pounds, maybe I make only 8 or 9, then no harm, no foul. I can just be happy with not making a full 10 pounds and I won't have to pull these gates apart again. So we are going to cool this thing down a little bit and then throw that green spring in there. All right, so we just opened up our first wastegate. This is the easy one. This one, you can get the C-clamps on. It's out there, like it's easy to do. So we change this one first, of course, because this one takes 5 minutes. So we got our yellow spring in here. You can see we're gonna replace this with the green spring, get this side put back together, and then since this side took 5 minutes, we're gonna take probably an hour and a half on the other side. That one's difficult because you can't get the C-clamps in there, and just the way that it's positioned, it's like down in there, and then you gotta use one of your own hands and then like start threading in these little 4mm like socket hex nut or hex bolts. So it's a disaster. I hate it. I wish this thing would have worked when we had 7-pound springs in it the first time, but whatever, we'll get through it. We're gonna get done. So I'm gonna switch out the spring here real quick and we'll go over to passenger side. Just for proof, we got our green spring, no funny business here, 8-pound spring, and we're gonna put this guy back together. So basically this is put this guy in here. And then the other difficult thing that you're fighting against is that diaphragm right there and making sure that you don't pinch it. So like you kind of got to put it together, and then the best thing you can do is drop one of these while you're doing this, because that makes it even more like fun. Out of the way. Probably just the. When you guys are considering turbo kits, because the on-3 one's cheap, don't mean it's good. I like it. It's okay. Just this part sucks. I like literally need to take a rest, because like my left arm from like pushing that thing in fucking sucks. And like the worst part about wastegate springs is the worst thing you can do is cause more damage by pinching the diaphragm when you put this shit like all together. Like I don't even know how you don't pinch a diaphragm on this one, because it's like it's so freaking tight. I've done this once before. I didn't pinch the diaphragm, but like it's very easy to do. So yeah, we're gonna take a 5-minute breather here and then stick this sucker in there. All crooked and shit. All right, you guys, it took us 50 minutes. I looked at it, it was 7:39 when we started. It's fucking dark now, and it's 8:28. So basically 50 minutes. We have it on. Still got to plug in some of the stuff that we moved out of the way. We moved out the PCM and other cables, so we gotta get those plugged back in. And then we do have to flash a different tune in this thing, because my tuner Josh had this thing, he has the timing at like, because it was low boost, it was like base timing was like 20 degrees, and then it added timing after that. When you start getting it up into 9-10 pounds like this, 8-10 pounds, you need to be at like 18 degrees of timing instead of 20, because 20 with 10 pounds of boost, you're freaking ripping. So we'll be at 20 basically with like E30 in the tank total. Whereas if we didn't flash a tune, we'd be at like 22. So that's way too much. So we're gonna get a different tune flashed in it, and then we gotta go drive it around a little bit, because it's gotta learn the ethanol and that kind of stuff. Here we are all buttoned back up. Got the ECM meatloaf tinfoil cover back on. Let's go flash a tune in this thing. Alrighty guys, so we just went and drove the truck around and looking at a quick data log. Just driving it around, letting it learn itself, learn its fuel. We're at 28.6 and it has matured, so that means that it's not learning anymore. We did a couple pulls. It's rich. It's like they run stoic on these. My tuner does, so it's like 0.82 to 0.86, which is good. That's what I like to see. So everything looks good on here. From just a quick look, safe. So we're gonna go throw in 4-wheel drive. We got the draggy loaded up. Let's see what this thing will rip for a time. We have, our DA is now 667 feet. So like that air this afternoon was real bad. So what do you think about that, Dale?
I think we're gonna spin some tires.
Well, hopefully we'll be in 4-wheel drive. We won't be spinning no tires.
Well, we still spin tires.
I think you'll spin them on the launch. I'd been spinning them even on the 4 or 5 pounds. So
well, then as a better response, I think we got some good air to go rip.
Yeah, this is gonna be its fastest pass ever. So I'm excited for that. I'm hoping for like a 11.3.
Damn, I was gonna say 11.2. I'm just being optimistic.
I'm going 11.2, 11.3.
Dude, it felt good.
It did. Yeah, we did a little 2-wheel drive pull, and this thing was just burning the tires off the back. Like even at 80 miles an hour, you could still smell rubber. So, all right, let's go throw this thing 4-wheel drive. See you on the draggy. We got the big spring in this thing. We're gonna boost launch it at about 3,000 RPM and see what she'll do. Sport mode, 4-wheel drive, traction control, advanced track is off.
terrible timing with these cars.
Yep, we got 2 cars right in the freaking... I wasn't gonna stay in it. Alright guys, let's try this one more time. Hopefully no traffic. Sport mode, 4-wheel drive, advanced track off. I'm gonna really smash the brakes on this one this time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed, but if this shit was easy, everyone would be doing it. The truck's slower. I don't understand it. I'm looking at the results right now, and so we ran an 1188 on pump 93 with good air. We ran an 1186 with E30 with not so good air, and then we got real good air again tonight. We ran a 1220 at 94 miles an hour because we were hitting the brakes. We go try and get another clean run, 1221 at 112 miles an hour. So the launch was a little softer on the second one, but it's really not making a whole lot of sense to me. It definitely just feels like the truck, like, especially on that second one, it didn't feel like it was doing what it was supposed to be doing. So I don't know, I can look at the log maybe and see if our like intake air temps were super high or something, but I'm not gonna leave this video unfinished. We are going to get you guys results. So hopefully we got good air again. It's like 50 degrees out. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get air this good. I love how we're like, I'm hoping for an 11.2, 11.3, 12.20.
Yeah, that was very disappointing.
We're a whole second off. I mean, like, this is the stuff that, like, it's not for everyone, guys. Like, I'm one of those guys where I'm realistic, but I really was thinking that this thing was just gonna, like, be ready to rip. It was dialed in on 5 pounds. So the fact that it's not dialed in on 10 is, I understand it, but it's disappointing. So, alrighty guys, so I was looking through the log real quick because I'm curious. And so looking at our first pull here, we have, through the entire pull, we are 20 degrees of timing. And then about halfway through, it goes up to 21 degrees of timing. And then at the end, very end, it's at 22 degrees of timing. And our knock retard is -3, which is good. That means that it's adding timing. We get to our second run, started off good, then we got knock, which I think is probably the intake manifold runner control IMRCs. I've heard they can give false knock, and I think that's what we got going on, which sucks because either we got to delete them or we got to put a manifold on this thing. Here you can see we got 2 degrees of knock. We're at 17 degrees of advance. 2 degrees of knock, 16 degrees. And then right in here, we dip down to like 15 degrees of timing advance. So we're like right at the beginning. We got 3 degrees of knock and we got 15 degrees of timing advance. So we're down 5 degrees of timing. That's why it was slower. Alrighty guys, well, just finished a day out on the river in the home garage. Definitely got IMRCs knocking around, causing false knock. When you can run one that doesn't have it and the next one has it, the fuel didn't change, the air didn't change, we got IMRCs rattling around. So I'm gonna pull the intake manifold on this thing, home garage, which is a little weird. Brought some tools over here. Just in case I don't finish it, I'd like to have it apart here instead of at the shop. So let's get right into it, start pulling this manifold. I have pulled this manifold once already. I've put injectors in it multiple times. So we are now going to do this again. But let's get right to it. See if we can get these things locked out the hobo style. Alrighty guys, we got the manifold out. Took me about 32 minutes or so. Get that sucker out. Huge pain in the butt. Just because there's so many wires on the back side of it. But we got over here on the bench, and we are going to pull the IMRCs off the back of here. And like I said, we're going to do the old hobo method on these suckers, which I'm going to show you here in just a second, and get this puppy slapped back in there. intake manifold out of the truck, and you're going to see some weird stuff going on here. I actually safety wired my IMRCs open so that they can't chatter anymore. So you can see these things cannot move, which is exactly what we need so that we don't get false knock from the IMRCs. So this is kind of what we deleted off the backside of the intake right there. And we're going to go plop this puppy back in and get everything bolted back up and go take this thing for a ride. Well, we got the manifold on and all buttoned up. Real nice not having to plug in all that crap in the back with the IMRCs and not have to undo it as well. Went together pretty quick. So I think we're 2 hours into this project total, 2.5 maybe. But we're gonna go run this thing down the road, make sure we don't have any issues, and then get a data log off to our boys at 5-Star. Back in the home garage, and we're out here with the F-150. And I got a contraption that I made right here for wastegate springs. And the reason we're doing that is because we put a new wastegate spring in this thing, 8-pound spring. Guess how much boost it made? Like 5.5, 6 pounds. Putting more spring in it again. And I got this little like contraption that I made because this gate normally takes about 5-10 minutes to put together, put a new spring in. And the passenger side took me like 55 minutes when we did it last time. So we're gonna put the green and the yellow spring together. That should be like 10, 11 PSI. And so this is just a the M4 by 0.7 threaded rod, 1 foot long on each one. And so we're gonna cut this down a little bit for the other side because we're working with tighter clearances over there. But this is basically used so that we can compress the spring with these rods and the nuts on here instead of by hand trying to screw in these super tiny little M4 screws that are very hard to get in. And so I made this up. And then you also saw threw a little content in there about pulling the manifold and locking out the IMRCs with some safety wire. Those are working great. We've had no knocks since then, so we're doing good there. So we're gonna add some spring to both sides, and then we will go run this thing down the road, and hopefully no pulling timing, correct amount of boost, and it's faster. Here you can see we got the 4-pound and the 8-pound spring both going in. Out here doing draggy pulls, and I just made a new friend. The old sheriff with like a bump bar on it. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Alrighty guys, there we have it. Let's freaking go. The truck's way faster. We just went from a 0 to 60 of like 388 to the 350s. And then we went, unfortunately, I ran it out full quarter mile in one run, and I didn't save the video, so I'll put it up on the screen right here. But it did a 11:55 and a 7:35 eighth mile. So I'm gonna start comparing eighth mile times, just because the second two runs that I did get on video, I could only run out to eighth mile because I had traffic and there's people in front of me, and you guys saw the video. We had the sheriff joining us for some data logs. So what's different is the first run, the truck was cool, of course, so that adds a huge advantage, right? But the first run, I didn't pull the truck down into manual mode with sport mode on. So that means that the truck shifts at like 6,200 RPM or so. When I pull it down to manual mode, the truck shifts pretty close to 7,000 RPM. And so you guys can see the difference in the times. I'm not exactly sure if carrying the truck out 7,000 RPM is really faster because I haven't been able to run this out to the quarter to see what it would do. But it definitely feels pretty good, and it's pretty close to what it was with it shifting at 6,200. The best 0 to 60 at 6,200 was 3.47, and then with it in manual mode, 7,000 RPM, it cut a 351, which could just be I didn't sit on the boost launch as long, you know, it didn't sit on the converter as long for it to build boost. So I'm pretty happy with it. We're gonna take this thing to street drags this week. You guys will see a video on that coming up. And thanks so much for watching the video. If you haven't, check out this build, check out the channel below, make sure you subscribe, hit the like. Till I see you next time, peace.